Hello, everyone. Main event Mike. We are back here again, once again, for another discussion where we talk about this wacky world that is professional wrestling. A lot has happened. We are about to enter into the month of April, and when we enter into that month of April, it is Wrestlemania month. It is arguably one of the biggest months you could ever have if you are a wrestling fan or a WWE fan. And we are less than 3 weeks away from Wrestlemania. Oh, on that as well, we're finally going to give our very, very, very late thoughts on AEW Revolution. So late that there's an AEW pay per view in 2 weeks, so that's how late it is. But as we do that, we'll also be giving our thoughts on this WrestleMania card, which is starting to stack up like a WrestleMania card as of now. And that's going to be the bulk of this video. But starting off, Billy, how are you doing so far?
Over. Over. That's all I've had
Um,
stuck in my mind since we
yep,
last recorded, honestly. But yeah, I'm
yep.
good. What about yourself?
I'm good too. I'm good. Things are good. Can't really complain, but I definitely agree with you in terms of what we'll get to when we discuss on that. Can't really complain about that feud as well. But first off, let's quickly touch on AEW Revolution. Happened a while ago. This is yeah, it's a while ago. March 15th. This happened in Los Angeles.
Bear in
Big.
mind, I rider and finished it the next day. I took 2 weeks to finish it because Tony Khan, we told you last time, cut your hours down, son. You didn't listen.
Well, he's not going to. Unfortunately, he's not going to cut the pay per views. He's not going to do anything. That's just how things are going to be. And so far, what we'll say is that I really enjoyed the pay per view. I thought it was a great show from AEW,
Yeah.
as they usually do. Even though as long as their pay per views are, I did think the show was a great show overall. What we'll do is just give our best thing about the show and our worst thing of the show. Of course, I would like to give some shout out to some matches as well. So the first thing I'll say, best thing for me was arguably the tag team championship match between FTR and the Young Bucks. I thought for a match that I really didn't. I'll say I didn't really care for. I did care, but I've seen them wrestle multiple times. And they've kind of added a little bit of friction, of course, with FTR attacking the Young Bucks' family. And that kind of had a little bit wrinkle to it as the match went on. There was blood, there was the crowd being invested into every near fall. It almost felt like the Bucks and FTR kind of dialed down certain things and made it really about the wrestling as well. Even one of my favorite spots of the matches wasn't even like a spot in the match or like a move. It was literally Matt Jackson going to one of his kids as the kids were trying to hype him up. And that was just a cool angle. And you could hear the crowd get into it as well. So really enjoyed that match. Probably one of my favorite matches with these two. I think this is up with one of the matches they had back on Dynamite. Worst thing, it has to be the dogs losing. Like if you're gonna bring the dogs in for your debut pay per view, which is David Finlay, Gabe Kidd, Clark Connors, but most importantly David Finlay, as he chose to sign AEW, he looked at that NXT stable and that contract and was like, "This is how much you're paying me." Tony, show me the money. He showed you the money, but he wasn't going to show you this W. And yeah, losing on your pay per view debut kind of stinks. Kind of doesn't make me want to treat you seriously as a faction. So I would say that was arguably my worst thing. But there was a lot of good things on the show. If it was John Moxley versus Takeshita, Swerve Strickland versus Brody King, I enjoyed the trios match, which had Mystico, Jet Speed, and the Don Callis family of who's addressed. Andrade versus Bandito was a great match. And I did think the main event between MJF and Hangman Page was enjoyable. Very long, but enjoyable. So those are my thoughts. Billy, what is your thoughts on AEW Revolution?
Gosh, this feels like I've watched like 2024, 2025, and 2026 like all in a row. Um, so my favourite match was probably Moxie and Takeshita. So I
Okay.
didn't know who was going to win. I didn't know who was going to win
Right.
during it. And a close second was Andrade and Bandito. But I think
Right.
because it took me a while and I knew the result of Andrade and Bandito.
Mhm.
Then when I watched it the next day, I didn't know the result of Moxley.
Mhm.
So that surprise element of, and then Osprey coming back straight after, which was a
Right.
bit unexpected to me because I thought he'd be out for a lot longer.
Mhm.
That's my best part. My worst part about this show is I don't know if you picked up on it. The amount of kickouts at one.
Yes.
There was
Yeah.
about three matches in a row. I
Yeah.
think so. It worked in the Young Bucks and the FTR because that was the first match I'd done it, and then they done it
Yeah.
in Tekla Thunder Rosa, did they? And then they done it
Mm-hmm.
in. Oh no, it was Tony Storm and Marina
Marine.
Shafir. They done it in that
Okay.
match. I was like, yeah, and I was like, this match don't need a one full kick out,
It
and they've done
doesn't.
it a
Yeah.
couple of times throughout the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, same as you. I think Swerve Strickland and Brody King was exactly what it needed to be,
Yeah.
and um, the main event.
Okay.
I didn't like the main event.
Okay.
I did. I thought. So I know a death match is meant to be like really, really like death match.
Yeah.
Like it's meant to be hardcore, violent.
Mhm.
Sometimes it can go over the top, and I feel like it did at
Right.
times, especially with that
Right.
with that needle spot. I was like, are we doing this
Yeah.
again?
Hmm.
Really?
Hmm.
Like, does this story need it? It's where it works with Swerve and Hangman because they despised each other. Like they
Hmm.
was going to man's houses and all that. Like
Yes. Yes.
this feud didn't need that spot, and I feel like at times it was
Mhm.
just a bit over the top. Old MJ Funk over there. So yeah, but a lot of matches on the show were enjoyable. This was to me a solid like 8 out of 10 pay per view.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Um, I can kind of understand people not really feeling comfortable with the match. I think maybe the biggest problem or the biggest critique you can put towards the main event is its length. What I appreciate about it is that it did a lot of references to other matches which involve, let's say, the rivalries of both MJF and Hangman. I think that's why they did the whole needle spot as a reference to the MJF swerve spot. Um, I think what helped the match is, of course, you not knowing if Hangman was going to win, because if Hangman didn't win, he would no longer chase for the world title again, which was the result. I did like the finish of MJF hanging, like literally hanging Hangman, because it symbolized how
Yeah,
Hangman won the belt against John Moxley. The touch of him hitting the camera, the bloody camera staying there until the end was a nice touch. But I do
yeah,
understand if people, this is not a match for you. I can completely understand. That is why AEW are the alternative, because you're not going to see this, let's say, in a WWE, because it doesn't fit a WWE. Even if they tried, it would just feel weird. But with AEW, that's where you could argue, thrive, or they're willing to take those risks, especially with. I do agree with about the amount of one kickouts. I felt like as I was watching the show, I was like, oh, so you did it. So Tony, you didn't address this
yeah,
person, be like, okay, this person's going to have a one kick out. Oh, this person's gonna have
yeah,
another one kick out. Okay, you're gonna have a. Why do you need a one kick out? Why in your
yeah,
match you need it? The crowd is probably not gonna react to your one kick out. Why are you doing this? So that, and I think that's kind of the problem as well, where you have so many matches that could potentially have the same spot. It was almost a time where, for example, you just saw bare people doing Canadian destroyers in every match. You're like, okay,
yeah,
and that could also be a detriment towards AEW. But even though I think they are valid critiques, this was still a strong, great show. Really enjoyed it.
yeah,
Um, there will, of course, be its drawbacks, like I said, with the dogs losing. It seems with that going forward, we are now setting up AEW Dynasty, which will be taking place April 12th, which is literally a week before WrestleMania, actually. And so far, we have the main of what I'm presuming to be the main event confirmed, which is MJF defending his AEW World Title against Kenny Omega. I think that will potentially be a match of the year contender, just like the match they had a few years back on Collision when MJF had his first title reign. Kenny Omega beat Swerve Strickland in a number one contender slash EVP status match in a great follow up to their first match with Swerve Strickland. And the promo was decent. I think MJF was solid. Kenny Omega is an exceptional wrestler, one of the best wrestlers, in ring wrestlers. On the mic, he's on and off. If you have him as the cleaner or New Japan mode, it's great. When he's trying to, I'm not gonna lie, this guy's talking about using his cats as examples and how they use the toilet. I remember that promo last year, Kenny. Like, what are we doing here? But this will be a great match, and you definitely felt it if you watched last week's Dynamite that Kenny Omega was on this show, even though you could argue he was tired after literally wrestling a 20-25 minute match. Let the guy rest before he talks. But I'm definitely looking forward to that. We have John Moxley versus Will Ospreay for well, actually not for the belt. Will Ospreay just wants
Not
revenge.
for the belt.
So
That's
he
it.
just wants revenge. Fairs because John Moxley was the last person Will Ospreay faced when they took him out of action due to the neck surgery he was going to do, and we have FTR versus I have to call him this Copeland and Christian.
Copenhagen Cage.
Yeah, and funny enough, this pay-per-view will be in Canada, so make that what you will. Um, Looking forward to that. So I'll just pass it over to you, Billy. How do you feel heading for this pay-per-view? We're only 3 matches deep into the show. I'm guessing there'll be other matches added as time goes on. I pray that this is not as long as WrestleMania, but it probably will be. Um, what is your thoughts heading into this pay-per-view so far? What matches are you looking forward to?
Well, there's going to be another 11 matches added. Let's
Yes.
just let's
Yeah.
just get that across. Like this,
Yeah.
3 matches is just a pre-show, but
Yeah.
probably Osprey's in-ring return. I love it how like it was like, look, lads, Osprey, do not do any silly moves straight away. His debut night, or his first night back, boom, backflip off the top rope, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you just don't learn, do you?
Yeah.
I predicted last predictions that we'll get a 3-way ladder match at some point this year, and I feel like that's going to be at All In
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
the Copes, that FTR and Hangman, not Hangman, the Young Bucks,
FTR. Yeah. Yeah.
and then Omega MJF. It can go either way this one, to be honest, because Omega's not held the
Yeah.
title for 5 years. The world title for about 5 years now.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
2021.
2020. Yes. It's
So
2020. Yeah.
that can go either way, but we'll see closer to the time on
Mhm.
predictions. But it's going to be a good show. We just know it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think Will Ospreay is a genuine favorite for the Owen tournament if they do it again, and to potentially
Yeah.
fight for the world title at All In. It just makes sense. It's just, are you going to go with MJF or are you going to go with Kenny Omega? I wouldn't mind any of the options. I mean, you're going to get a great match anyway. I think if you're going to do MJF again, I think you can relax on the whole US UK thing that they did last time. If it's Kenny Omega, you have a
Yeah.
rivalry on its own, the back and forth, and even I would even say that their New Japan stuff is very underrated. I remember that promo that Will cut in that press conference
Yeah.
heading into that. So that will also be fun. But with how things are kind of moving in AEW, where attendance seems to be doing decently well, numbers seem to be doing decently well. Sure, you have to take it with a pinch of salt when it comes to the pay-per-view buy rates, which are being reported by Tony Khan's favorite person, Dave Meltzer. But it always seems like when MJF is world champion, things kind of peak up to an extent. So that's also another thing that could
Yeah.
push for MJF's a point to potentially be world champion at All In, which I think will probably happen. But yeah, let us know you
Yeah.
guys' thoughts on AEW. How you feeling about AEW so far this year? How you feeling for Dynasty? And also the road to All In, which I think is probably going to be the case as well. If before we end, I think the one negative that I'm kind of annoyed with AEW, and I don't know if you feel the same way, is I kind of feel like they're waiting too long for Konosuke Takeshi and Okada, like to kind of stop the feud,
Yes. Yes, they
to
are.
stop
Yeah.
it now, and we have to wait all the way into what I feel like will be London. It's just too long of a wait time for me. It kind of makes Takeshita look like a geek to an extent,
Yeah.
but that's what I'll
He
say.
looks like a beg friend. He looks like, oh look, can this guy just be my friend? Like, no,
Yeah.
I kind of don't like you. You stated
Yes.
before we don't like you.
Yes.
Come on, move on.
Yeah, that's what I'll just say as well. But let's move on to WWE. Let's move on to WrestleMania. Um, as we've recorded, we had an episode of Monday Night Raw, an eventful Monday Night Raw to the extent, where Cody Rhodes was talking to Stephanie McMahon in a good promo. But listen, you think you're gonna have a promo with Stephanie McMahon and you were gonna skate free. You think you were gonna catch a slap. This is a 2015 to 2017 Stephanie McMahon. You're gonna catch a slap if you say anything in regards to Vince McMahon or whatever. Caught the slap, but I thought it was an effective promo to kind of get across towards his feud with Randy Orton. What I will say is that I understand what Stephanie was trying to do to say, like, you are not ready for this Randy Orton, this vicious Randy Orton, which they did a good job too, and I think Cody did a good job to illustrate as well. But Stephanie, he was in the same group with Randy. He's seen the things that he did to you exactly. He was in the same
Yeah,
group. Like,
that's what I was thinking as well.
but yeah. And I
He
think
was
maybe we
there.
can
He was
maybe start.
present. Like,
Yeah, he was there. He saw everything. He was an eyewitness to the case. Um, and I think we can maybe start off with that match. Cody Rhodes will be defending his undisputed WWE Championship against Randy Orton. One of the main events of night one of WrestleMania. And I'll just throw it to you, Billy. How are you feeling for Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton?
it's a marquee match. I wouldn't say I'm excited.
Hmm.
The problem with Cody and Randy is we see the match last year at Night of Champions. It was an okay
Yeah.
match, and so it's right they've gone down the violent route now, but they had the same problem before with Triple H and Randy Orton, where they made a feud so personal. Are they just going to have a singles match again to sort of like settle the blood issue? Like, and I feel like this is the same build now for Cody Rhodes, year after year after year. Is oh, you trust someone, they beat you up, they make you bleed, and then about 3 months down the line you forgive them. I feel like it's the
Yeah.
third year in a row we're doing this storyline now, and it is a
Yeah.
bit repetitive now. Like it is a bit like, can you change this guy's character up a bit? At least make him like I don't know. It's just a weird one with Cody Rhodes because we know the match is going to be good,
Mhm.
and I feel like with Cody we always say it's dire the build, and then the match proves us wrong.
Mhm.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. What's your thoughts on it?
Um, I just think WWE are in a dilemma where they want people to boo Randy Orton, and they don't want to boo Randy Orton. Like, I think the heel turn and everything was good. It was effective. We all had the feelings, oh, this is going to be the old Randy Orton, the venomous Randy Orton, the 2009 Randy Orton, the Randy Orton that Stephanie remembers. Um, but to have people the next week, you bring out Mike Kaidona, and this is no disrespect to Mike Kaidona. This is not going to get people to boo Randy Orton. We're not gonna boo this guy. We're gonna be like, yay, Randy, and that's what they did. They cheered him. I think what hasn't helped is that since that promo, I don't think anything. Maybe I would say the Stephanie and Cody promo did a little bit to kind of pique more interest into it, especially from Cody's point of view. The
Yeah,
segment we had last on SmackDown where Cody took 5 business days to brawl Randy Orton was just like that whole brawl. I think the problem is that WWE kind of you see the process of how their brawls go. They come out, security block them. They throw a punch, then the security back them, and they throw another punch, and the security block them, and this
yeah,
and this. We go to the this and this, but this one just felt like we were waiting so long for this brawl. Like it just kind of felt awkward, and you can kind of feel like the crowd got a bit
yeah.
awkward to that extent. And look, the match could be good, and I think Cody and Randy have the potential to make this a really good main event, and a match that I could be very intrigued for. I just think the steps that we're going to are just kind of like they're not. I don't know. They're just not on that level that I expect to an extent, and I think it's just you're in this case where Cody is the champion that people will like and enjoy, but they don't want to boo Randy Orton at this point. They don't want to boo Randy. You haven't given them the cases to
Nah,
boo him. And I feel like you're going to go into a place where once again
yeah,
you're going into Vegas where you saw this last year. They didn't want to boo Cena and they booed Cody, and I think you're going to have the same outcome here. Do I see Cody retaining potentially?
yeah,
But we've got
yeah.
roughly 2 more weeks of this, so that will also see how things will help. But yeah, we'll see how things will go as time goes
Also,
on.
also,
Yeah.
sorry. Let me just add another point. WWE, we did this with Travis Scott last year. If I hear Jelly Roll's music in that main event, I'm switching off straight away. We're not doing it again. We're not doing that again. Can we just please not do that again?
No, I understand.
Let's continue.
No, it's fine. I understand. This guy has invaded two things I enjoy. It's wrestling and football. And we'll not get into that meaty song. Jelly Roll, you seem like a very cool person, but please, he was on that SmackDown show a lot. He was on. In fact,
Yep,
it's a good
yep.
thing. It's a good thing you brought back Gunther for Monday because I would have cooked you guys. But moving on. So that is the next feud we're going to talk about. Let's switch it to a feud that we are really enjoying right now, and I think so far they've done everything perfect. You mentioned his name earlier today. It's Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. I think they've done everything perfect so far. You started with an open challenge, which I was thinking, so we're not just going to know who Brock's opponent is. That's lame. But we did. And it's Obafemi. Let's ignore Seth Rollins and his clones. We've had straight hit Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. And I think every single angle that they've done so far has been perfect. Even if you, and I know some people that are, let's say, critiques or don't like Triple H because Triple H inserted himself into this like he was Dana White. Read into that what you will, but I've enjoyed everything they've done with this. Oba has looked incredible, and I feel like it has raised his stock even more. I think Brock's done an exceptional job and a very underrated job of actually selling how how powerful Obafemi is. But I'll just pass it over to you, Billy. What do you think of this feud so far?
It's crazy how obvious it is when Brock likes someone compared to when he don't. Like his selling has
Yeah,
been like so good so far. He's making the feud
yeah,
alone as Brock Lesnar just by his selling.
yeah.
Uh, it's been perfect, ain't it? It's been so good. I actually thought today it's probably a bad idea due to limitations of Brock.
Hmm.
But if this main evented night one, I would not mind like waiting for that Obafemi,
Hmm.
like the
Yeah,
first whatever, the first move, the first anything. I would not mind it whatsoever. This over obviously it won't because we know Cody and Randy's the marquee.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm really interested. They just can't. They can't have Obafemi lose. They just can't, can they?
Yeah, that's all I'm hoping for. That's all I'm hoping for because I know we've got Brock for potential until summer. That's what they're saying. But it just helps Oba more. I don't see like a Brock Lesnar win. You could do it, but I don't know if it really helps Oba's case if they do that to an extent. So I'm pushing for an Obafemi win. Hopefully he wins this. I have enjoyed what they've done so far with Oba and Brock with this promos they've done. I do think it will be a moment where Brock Lesnar's going to get his own back on Oba. It just has to because you've had two very dominant weeks, a stalemate. It's
Yeah,
only right for Brock to actually have the moment to come back as well. But yeah, really looking forward to that. And I think so far, in my opinion, the best built
yeah,
match at WrestleMania so far. So I
one million
believe next.
percent, 1,000,000%.
Yep. So the next match, I'm actually going to pass this over to you, Billy. It is, as of right now, a singles match for the WWE United States Championship. Sami Zayn won the US title by beating Trick Williams. No, Trick Williams. He beat Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown. And now the confirmed match is Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams for the US title. Billy, what is your thoughts on Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams for the US title? And what's any excitement or anything that you're feeling towards this match?
So at first I was annoyed about it, but thinking about it, this is the perfect way to turn Sammy Hill. And if you are going to do a double turn of turning Trick face, and it is going to be a singles match,
Hmm.
you can go about of Trick finds it wrong how his old best friend has been done
Hmm.
out of a Mania match because of Sami Zayn and his Not so much politicking, because it is an open challenge, but it feels like Sammy just gets chance after chance after chance, and
Yeah.
they have played on it a bit now, the commentators as well. So if it's going to be a double turn, yes, I don't mind it. Do I want Trick Williams to turn face? Originally, I was opposed to it, but as long as he keeps the character, I think. If the character changes, it won't be good. But
Mhm.
with Carmelo Hayes, you do feel bad for him, don't you? Like this
Yeah.
resembles a couple of years ago. Do you remember when Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and he took the title off Asuka
Yeah, Bosco,
right
yeah,
before
yeah.
Mania? After Asuka carried that title well for about 3 months, Carmelo Hayes done the same thing. He's been the best part of SmackDown every week for about 3 months straight.
Yeah.
He deserves a Mania match. If it's a triple threat, it'll be good. And yeah, I just really hope it's a triple threat. What about you?
Yeah, I kind of shared my thoughts in an earlier vid when I just kind of gave my thoughts on the whole situation. I think this is potentially designed to give Trick Williams the US title, hopefully. Um, it does feel you do feel bad for Carmelo Hayes in the situation that 3 weeks out and he might not have a WrestleMania match. There is a story with Trick and Carmelo going back to NXT, so we'll just have to wait and see on SmackDown if Carmelo gets added to the match. If not, could they do the double turn potentially? But I could. We'll see. We'll see how things go. It's just I think they've got Sammy potentially penciled for, let's say, next year's WrestleMania. And I'm thinking, how can we get to that if they want to maybe do a babyface run or heel run as well?
Scratch that. Scratch that.
Yeah,
Moment's
yeah,
gone,
that's what.
Sammy. I think
Yeah,
moment's gone.
yeah. But moving on to the next match, this one I actually want to give you. I want to give you the floor because in our group chat we talk about wrestling a lot, but you actually predicted this match. This happened on Monday Night Raw, so I'm going to give you the floor. Seth Rollins, Gunther, Billy, over to you.
I'm booking this Mania. I better see a percentage in my bank account because I booked this 2 weeks ago, and I messaged Oriodan saying, "This, if Bron's not clear, do this." They've done it. Do we think Gunther's joining the Vision though?
Nah, nah.
Do you think they're going to do like their own version of like the Don Callis family and just have every single like single star be in it?
I, the thing is with the Vision, I think the Vision is a group that had, ironically, a vision of where it's going to go with its wrestlers, but all the injuries have kind of thrown everything, has thrown all the plans. You had Bronson Reed, he's out. You have Braun Breaker, he's out. Logan Paul and Austin Theory are kind of doing their own thing without kind of involving Paul Heyman at this point because Paul Heyman's got Brock Lesnar situations and Seth Rollins situations. I know you said about maybe Gunther taking like a deal from Paul Heyman and it doesn't happen. I think that's what you kind of alluded to when you discussed when Seth versus Gunther is going to happen. But that could happen. But we'll have to see what
Yeah.
goes on. I know the only effect of this is that this comes very, very late, and it's due to the fact that Braun Breaker's not back. Gunther hasn't got Rey Mysterio, which I no disrespect to Rey Mysterio. To go from John Cena, AJ Styles to Rey Mysterio at Mania, no disrespect to Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is an OG legend, one of the best luchadors to ever do in WWE. It just kind of feels eh. So this is probably the best plan C that they currently have right now.
Yeah, and sometimes at Mania, this reminds me a lot of the build between Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels. Like sometimes
Mhm.
a match can just be two people trying to be the
Yeah,
best, like
yeah,
proving who's better.
yeah,
So I'm excited for it. I think it's the best. They've got 2 weeks to make us care.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree, and hopefully they can do the best out of it. Moving on to the next match, Mike. Wow, there's a lot of matches here. This is looking like an AEW pay-per-view, but they're gonna split into 2 days, so it's so that will help. But Penta defended his IC championship against Kofi Kingston on Monday Night Raw, and as soon as he defended his title, he said that he's going to defend his IC title in a ladder match. Through this, we had a bunch of qualifying matches, which I believe happened on WWE Main Event. This was potentially maybe confirmed by our good friend in GWE Wrestling, as he did attend the show there. But Penta will now defend the IC title against Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, and Rusev. Um, this, I like the lineup. Rusev snuck in there, but I like the lineup. No disrespect, you kind of snuck in. You snuck into that lineup. Like you snuck into there. But I think this will be a very, very fun match where there's going to be a lot of crazy spots. Penta's going to be great. Javon Evans. I hope this is the match that kind of showcases himself. I think he's done it already. The crowd do like him, but hopefully he can have a great performance here. Not like he did at the Chamber when you wanted to do it for Logan Paul, but we'll move on. Dragon Lee is going to be exceptional. JD McDonough, of course, and Rusev's going to be part of it. I think Penta will retain though. I think he will keep the belt. I think he want to keep the belt on Penta for a while. But Billy, what is your thoughts on this match?
We'll touch on it when we do our WrestleMania predictions. I don't think Penta. I think Penta should win, but I don't think he will because WWE loves a record, and I'm pretty sure they could break a record. Let me just have a look. We'll touch on that more in our predictions, but yeah, it's just going to be four dudes doing flippy stuff, and
Yes.
Rusev's just going to stand in the middle of it and shout. Like that's
I
that's what the
kick
match is
people.
going to be,
Yep,
but it's
yep.
going to be good, and I'm happy. Yeah, exactly. And the last two was it 2 years? Like the Mania 31 and Mania 32 ladder matches, like they were a highlight
Yeah.
of both shows. So I'm happy it's back. I'm happy the IC title ladder matches are back.
Yeah. And I know last year we had. Well, we do. No, I don't think we did. Did we have a ladder match last year? No, we didn't. No, we didn't. I think it was SummerSlam. I'm
No,
thinking of. We
no,
had
we
the
have one
SmackDown one.
on Stand and Deliver. I think.
Yes, and that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, we have one on
Yeah,
Stand and Deliver. Yeah,
yeah. And then the following week we had Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, and Street Profits in that great TLC match,
yes,
SmackDown after Mania.
TLC. Yeah,
Yeah. So moving on,
yeah.
so the
Do you remember
WWE.
WWE used to have a tag division, by the way?
Speaking of tag division, that's divine touching. Because talking about we got the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, which I will say, they have been building around that division a while. They have treated that division to. I will say they've treated it seriously. It's just getting down on a PLE. This might be the only PLE they'll do. Maybe I could be wrong, but we have the Irresistible Forces, which is Nia Jax and Lash Legend. They'll be defending against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. Thank God Bailey's on this PLE. Don't do her dirty. And the Bella Twins,
Don't
who,
speak too soon. Do not speak too soon.
if they take her off this show again for a storyline, you might as well go. You might as well go. You might as well become Pamela and go to AEW. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like this is your only choice now. But yeah, we got this match. I kind of feel like this is designed because we have the Bella Twins, Brie Bella getting the biggest pop reaction in 2026 in Saudi. It's a WTF moment, but should be a cool match. Don't really have any predictions as of right now, but cool that all these women are on the card, like someone like a Lash Legend, for example, kind of get the opportunity to showcase as well. So moving on, we have Drew McIntyre. Poor Drew. Well, should I say poor Drew McIntyre? Um, was previously the undisputed WWE champion, lost it to Cody, and now he'll be facing Jacob Fatu in an unsanctioned match. Billy, what is your thoughts on this feud? What do you think of this match? Just general thoughts. You don't really need to give a prediction, but general thoughts of this feud.
they've been feuding for a while now, ain't they? Like they've been
Yeah,
underlined feuding for a while, ain't they? Because they was meant to face off
mhm,
back in September,
yeah,
I believe. So it's been a
yeah,
long time coming, and I mean, it had to be a gimmick match because you can't have these two just wrestle a normal match after what they've been through.
yeah.
But to me, it's since Drew lost the title, you're like, what's really the point of him now, sort of thing. He's on that like decline at the moment.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much for this match really. Jacob wins. That's about it.
Yeah, I like Jacob Fatu. I just I think Jacob Fatu's ceiling, he has more potential in his ceiling as time goes on. I just think Drew's in the same position as he was last year. Last year
Yeah.
he had Damian Priest. This year he has Jacob Fatu. Um, they can. I think there's a very good chance that this match will be very good. But it's just one of those feuds that they've been feuding for a while, and he's got a WrestleMania match. So I think that's currently my thoughts on this feud so far. But yeah, that's just how it is for me right now. Um, and the match I'm going to go into next is Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. This is a feud that has been building for a very, very long time. Finn was officially excommunicated from the Judgment Day not too long ago, and Finn is pretty much going into his babyface character against Dominic Mysterio. Could we get the Demon Finn Balor appearance at Mania? Could happen. Who knows? I think if they're going to do it, they could allude to it potentially on one of the last Monday Night Raws. Um, I could definitely see Finn getting a win here. He desperately needs wins. Our good friend Pin Balor, but yeah, uh, Billy, what do you think?
If if he does the pin Bella, say goodbye. Say goodbye to that guy, man, because there's nothing that can bring him back after that. Nothing can bring him back after that. We've gone back to Finn Balor ever since the Belfast match with CM Punk. He's back.
Yeah,
Do not squash him straight away. Have him
yeah,
have to be the demon. Have a decent match. Not so long because we don't want we don't
yeah.
want the demon gimmick to be overused yet.
Mhm.
But yeah, Finn's got to win. He's just got to.
Yeah, I think Finn. It wouldn't hurt Dom to lose to Finn at Mania. Um, and then you could probably run it back at Backlash, and then Dom can get his win back. But yeah, I could see that. Well, moving on to some of the last few matches here. AJ Lee defending her IC championship against Becky Lynch in a rematch of their match at Elimination Chamber. I did like the promo that they had a few weeks back. I thought it was probably their best promo together. My feelings is that they had a decent. I think they had a pretty decent match at Elimination Chamber. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's kind of it. I don't. My what I would kind of pass it to you, Billy, is what do you do with Becky Lynch if she doesn't win at Mania?
Can always try for a second kid. Like you can just like go away for a bit and live your life.
Yes.
um, gosh, that's gonna be the clip of the video, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know what you do with Becky. Do you turn her back to babyface after a year? Do you put her back in the world title scene? I think she will win. I do think she will win because she has like jobbed to AJ Lee twice now in a row,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe three times I think. So she will win. So, but let's have her win, but let's not keep the IC title on her for too long because she's had it for majority of the year now.
Yeah.
Let's get that on like a mid carder and raise them up.
Yeah. I agree. Think we got a few more matches here. Let's touch on Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's Championship. So Jade Cargill, she's now has a let's be real, they copied the AW homework. Let's put her in a faction.
The Baddies
They put
2.0.
Yep, they put her with Mia Yim and DFAB. I kind of get it, kind of giving her a stable. I understand that. The feud itself, I think Jade and Rhea's okay. How do I how do I how do I how do I, how do I,
It begins with A and ends with S, and we all have one.
Yes. Yeah. Um. Look, I've just had like this has just not been a feud I've been excited for. I like Jade. I think there's you can like I've said it before. There's a reason why WWE are very high on Jade Cargill. But am I looking forward to the match? Nope. Do I think Jade and Rhea are the best on the mic? Nope. Do I? Are there clear strengths that they could potentially do here? Possibly. But this, if I were to say in terms of feud or builds, I have nothing really. Like I have nothing. I'm gonna be real. I have nothing really. Don't hate these women at all. I just think the feud has just been. It's been. I don't know. Believe. Have you got any words to save me from from this angle? Have you got anything?
I'm not saving this, man. This is unsavable. This is Scott Steiner and Triple H from 2003. It's the exact same build. It is. You're just two big people. I don't care. Like, everyone's big to me. What does it matter?
Yeah. Um. Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
just that's just
there's
yeah, that's
nothing to
just how.
save this
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
That's I just got nothing like the Ty run hasn't been that great. She's had it for a long period of time. She only defended it once against Jordan Grace. You've picked Rhea Ripley. That's cool. You it seems like Rhea probably doesn't like Jade outside of WWE. And then you had the first promo, and it's talking about I got bigger arms than you, bigger biceps than you. This using the B word a lot because for some reason that's the most used WWE offensive word that you can actually use. I feel like the best person to actually use offensive language is probably Stone Cold because it just comes naturally. But that's just how it is.
Yep.
But yeah, that's all I've got, honestly. Um Stephanie Becker versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. Billy, what is your thoughts on this feud?
It got better this week. It did get better. This was on the same stage of like these two women's world title matches are crap, but it did get better this week. Liv's promo is really good.
Mm,
She's trying to get the heel heat. She's trying to get.
yeah.
The problem with this is I think Vakara's lost so much steam since she lost her theme song.
And yes, I was about to say that.
Like, like we a lot of people want Liv to win, which is the same problem that Randy has with and Cody and Randy have is we don't want to boo Liv, even though they're trying to get us to.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's a bit. I can see that point. I think Liv can actually be a heel and be cheered, and I think Liv can accept that. Um, I think the feud has been fine. It's been fine so far. I did like the brawls and some of the things that they've been doing. I know it's the whole story of like my background's better than your background thing. Roxanne Perez coming back this episode of Monday Night Raw will kind of help in terms of Liv Morgan, having maybe some people around her potentially going after Stephanie Becker. But I do agree with you. I kind of feel like ever since she's won this world title, her stock has kind of dipped. Losing the theme song hasn't really helped her. I don't think the Nikki Bella feud really did help her. The Raquel Rodriguez feud was fine, but it's almost like you have a plethora of women's wrestlers that she could wrestle, like an Asuka, an Io Sky, a Bailey, a Lara Valkyria, or all these others. And I know you had them all invested in the tag team championship scene. It kind of helped. It didn't really help or hurt Stephanie Becker as well. She's definitely talented, great wrestler. I think the match will be good. Um, because you're working with someone who's good, and I think Liv is also good too. Um, but I don't see anything right now. I don't see anything but a Liv Morgan taking that belt home with her because I feel like the momentum for her to hold that belt is going to be there, especially to make up for lost time when she was injured.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. She's winning that belt. Yeah.
Yep. And now we get to the main event what I believe will be the main event of night two. It is CM. For some reason, you're CM. Actually, CM, 47 years old, Punk versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. I was actually going to look for his age because Roman Reigns loves to call this guy old. 40 years old. Yes. So I'll start off. I like this feud, but I feel like we have not reached the levels of that very first promo that they had, which was a promo of the year contender. And I think since then we've been trying to hit that level. And I think the promo with Punk and the Usos was good. I think some of the things have been effective, but I feel like we've kind of gone to a position where Punk and Roman, for some reason, in these promos, don't want to make themselves look bad, like, or sell anything. We've gone into a stalemate of like, I'm trying to get into your head, or I'm trying to get into your head. I'm gonna call you old. I'm gonna disrespect you so in front of you, so you have to start hitting me and all these other things. I was happy that this week, instead of talking, we just went straight to hands, which understandable. We needed to get there now. I just think we haven't. My only problem with Punk and Roman is that first promo was so good. Everything else just kind of feels not bad, but like not at that level, in my opinion. If you were to ask me who I think's winning, it's Roman Reigns. I just think he's
Yeah.
winning. He's gone 2 Manias winless, and
Yeah.
he's taking it. He's taking a belt home. A belt, mind you, he didn't really care for back in his tribal chief days. But WWE is going to make you think that didn't happen. Yeah, he didn't bury the belt. No, he didn't do that. No, he didn't do that. Who told you that? So they're going to pretend that never happened. He'll beat CM Punk. I just think Roman Reigns is winning. I think that's how you're going to end WrestleMania, with him getting the victory. The whole your old thing or mind games thing, you could have done it a better way, but it's just what it is overall. But passing over to you, Billy, what do you think of arguably the marquee main event of WrestleMania?
I mean, he still don't care about the belt. Like, he still hasn't mentioned it in any of his promos.
Yeah,
He's just fighting Punk because he hates him. He don't care about the belt.
yeah, yeah,
Um, the feud has gone from like, it's a weird one because it's gone like here, here, here.
yeah,
You know, like it's not naturally progressed up. It's great
yeah,
promo. I'll mention your dead dad. We'll talk for a bit. Now we're fighting. Like they should have just cut out the. It should have been great promo, personal fighting. Like there should have been
yes,
the in between of, oh, now I'm just gonna start cussing your cousins, or like, yeah, like bro, Roman Reigns cusses his cousins. Like we don't care about that.
yeah,
They should have built on the father feud, but the brawls have been good. I do think it is a bit like copycat 2 weeks in a row doing table spots. Like it's just a bit of Punk copying him. I feel like they should have done something different there, but it's not a bad feud. Like it is a good feud.
yeah.
Is it our favorite feud? No, because we said Obafemi Lesnar. But it's probably been the better world title build for a number of years, especially since Cody and Roman.
Yes, I think it's up there. If you compared the World Heavyweight title feud last year when we had Gunther Jey Uso, this is better. This is just better based off of the hatred
Oh yeah, this is way better.
and everything around that. And I do agree with your point on how Roman Reigns hasn't technically acknowledged the World Heavyweight title. He's really just doing this because he has a shot at there to be in the main event again, and he hates CM Punk. I think that was the beauty of
Yep.
that first promo of
Yep.
him showing the hatred. It was almost a performance where you could say he outdid CM Punk then. I just kind of feel like he hasn't reached that level.
Yeah.
And I think Punk, even when the promos haven't been effective or they haven't been as um on point as it is, Punk will always give a strong performance. I think Roman at times he will give good performances, but I think maybe the material's just lacking. The whole your old thing, I can understand that that's kind of
Yeah.
like a thing to kind of get into Punk's head, into his mental side. So much that we're seeing him do this in talk shows and whatnot, which is fine and cool. But then imagine if you lose. You lost to the old guy. Now, if you win, you beat the old guy. But
Yeah.
that's just kind of the thing you kind of get into as well. But but yeah, like I said, we got a few more weeks until WrestleMania. I think after this Monday Night Raw, it definitely feels like WrestleMania so far, especially with the added matches. I think they'll probably add a little
Yeah.
bit more matches. We've got storylines potentially involving Io Sky, Asuka, Kairi Sane. Julia is probably praying that she gets on the WrestleMania card. Carmelo Hayes is probably joining that prayer to see if he can get into the WrestleMania card as well. He's thinking, what, you took the belt off of me and you put Rusev into that IC title match. What's going on? But who knows? Maybe these questions can be answered this Friday on SmackDown. But let us know your thoughts on WrestleMania 42, on the build, on the matches. What is your what are you looking forward to? What is the feud that you're looking forward to the most? Just comment below. Let us know. Let me and Billy know. And that is pretty much it. We've discussed AEW Revolution, very, very late, weeks on. AEW Dynasty, and of course, the road to WrestleMania continues as we are less than a few weeks away from that show. Probably going to give our predictions. Maybe we will do a top of WrestleMania main events. Our friend Raj at GWE did his one. He did his list of, I think, every WrestleMania main event, which was a cool video he made. I think I'll probably do a top 15 because I'll just do a top 15. That's just me. But maybe that'll be a video that we'll do as well, just to kind of piggyback, not piggyback, but just an inspiration from our friends at GWE Wrestling. But been anything you'd like to share before we close off? Anything that you'd like to share off?
No, nothing at this moment. Potentially working on a few projects, but nothing as of yet to be announced.
All right, no worries. But like I said, like, comment, share this video as we continue to just talk about why we just love this wacky world that is professional wrestling. I've been Oriodan.
I've been Billy. Catch you guys in a bit.
Take care, guys.